I'm the co-founder of a company called Churchill Education. We're a registered training organisation. We help people get qualifications through recognition of prior learning. We have a simple process that we've developed.
We're working with awesome people, doing something we both love and really helping people get the solution that they need the same way we need it. And I've got these 4 young kids and life looks fantastic with a husband who's happy and doing something he loves. But it wasn't always that way.
I found myself in a position where I had 16 years in the Queensland Police and came to the stage where I had to retire due to a medical retirement.
He ended up coming home one day and never returned to work, and I'd married this policeman, this strong detective who knew what he was on about and had a clear sense of who he was. And then overnight we're told that he's got post-traumatic stress disorder.
I had no plans, I had no future. I was finding myself in a situation where I'd got to the stage that I got promoted early in the police, so I was a bit of a high flyer from that perspective. I came crashing back down to earth. I all of a sudden found myself looking for jobs at that stage was the newspaper. And
it wasn't something that either of us had seen coming. And what we knew and had a deal at that point was that there was one thing that was important. And that was that the commitment we both made was to him getting healthy and happy, and the rest didn't matter. I didn't care if he packed shelves in Woolies. I didn't care what he did from that point on, but we had to make that work. So for 18 months, that was what we did.
I realised that I'd lost my credibility, I'd lost my identity. I handed back the badge and I was now just Randall Smith, which I'd never been for 20 years.
Randall worked really hard at one thing, getting well. But at the end of getting well, we were faced with what was a pretty harsh reality, which was that he was healthy and he was happy, but he could never go back to doing the one thing that he'd always wanted to do, which was be a police officer.
16 years of experience where I had qualifications or experience internally in the police, but found myself stepping outside of the policing environment, looking at trying to find a job and had no qualifications that would be recognised in a civilian world.
So we came to a point that he got his separation papers, his retirement papers from the police, and we had to figure out how to create this whole new world for him. Except as I looked at him, I knew that he had no idea what he wanted to be when he grew up, because what he'd wanted to be was gone. So I encouraged him to go and see a career counsellor, and in the way of all good husbands, he ignored me. And he came home to tell me one day that somebody had suggested he see a career counsellor. At this point, I just did what all good wives do and went, that's a great idea, why didn't I think of that? And I sent him off.
What I did was I actually went and saw a guidance counsellor.
And he basically went away and he saw a career counsellor 3 times. And in that time, the career counsellor never once told him what he should be when he grew up. But he did tell him something really interesting. He told him that there was this opportunity called recognition of prior learning.
I'd heard of the term, had no idea what it involved. And the counsellor pointed me in the direction of a registered training organisation on the Gold Coast. I contacted them and basically what I received back from them was a recognition of prior learning kit.
Over the course of the next several weeks, we went through this process of putting his life and mapping it across to this qualification. And the day came that he had an appointment to go and front this board of this college and basically make his case.
I knew I was competent as a team leader, my communication skills, but I had to go and try and prove it, so I gathered supporting materials, packaged it all up, and I went and presented that to the registered training organisation.
And when the call came through, it was one of the best calls of our life, because he rang and told me that not only had he got the 1 qualification, he'd actually walked away with 3.
I could not believe that I was able to put together an application, present it to this registered training organisation, and they've come back and awarded me with 3 nationally recognised qualifications, recognising my management skills, my leadership skills, my admin skills. So I was just wrapped.
Just his tone in his voice, just the confidence that came from saying somebody else can see and has stamped that my skills are worth this.
And he said to me, "This is amazing." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "How you've presented this recognition of prior learning application," he said, "we've never seen anybody do this before. Why don't you do this for a service for others?"
Now we meet people and they tell us the most amazing stories about the skills they've developed, and we talk about where they want to go, and we're a part of that process of getting them there.
Somebody who has probably been in the same position as yourself and obtained qualifications, someone who will be prepared to take you through the steps and take you to the conclusion or the outcome or the solution that you need to hear.
You just have to give us a call. There's always someone happy to take your call.
Our website is churchilleducation.edu.au, or you can call our office on 1300 793 002, and we'd love to help you.